Hi, everybody. It's Mike Hayes of the Lafayette Chamber of Commerce, and with me is Jay Lifson, the Executive Director of the Lafayette Chamber of Commerce. Jay, we've got a lot of important information to cover, so let's get right to it. Why don't you start with the first slide and kind of do a quick introduction for everybody?
Well, hi, Mike, and thanks for working with me on this project. So what we're doing today is we are going to be giving information to the volunteers and some of the companies and organizations that come and participate with our annual Lafayette Art and Wine Festival. And we have a responsibility to take care of the safety of not only the people that are coming to the event, but the people that are working at it too. One of the areas that we have to give a lot of attention to is the serving of alcoholic beverages. So alcoholic beverages are sold, and I think we have about 25 different dispensing places within the festival. The festival has about 450 booths altogether. So we have companies that will come and they'll sponsor a booth, and we're providing them with the alcohol. We're collecting the money. They're going to collect tickets, and they're going to pour the beer or the wine.
So let's set the tone here about the purpose, that this is quite important because there's a lot of people involved, a lot of communication has to be done, and there's liability too.
That's right. So what today and this program is about is to try and give you some education on how to serve alcohol, some guidance to get through the weekend successfully, and to build a strong relationship and partnership with law enforcement. So let's go into it. So when you are serving alcohol, you actually have some liability, and you need to know about that. There could be criminal liability, civil liability. You have to follow the alcoholic beverage control laws of the state of California and all its regulations. And these involve sales to minors, possession by minors, sales to obviously intoxicated persons, and then the age of the servers, the hours of operation, and certainly who's getting behind the wheel after a day of going to the festival.
Yeah, very important.
So the ABC, or the Alcoholic Beverage Control, can actually suspend or revoke our license for good cause. And so it's up to us to teach you the way to follow the instructions and make sure that everyone is following those instructions. So we're going to focus on a couple of key things as we go through this.
Well, you're certainly making it as easy as possible because people who watch this video will have a real leg up on understanding what has to be done.
Well, we hope so. So here's what the violations could be. Selling to a minor, that's anyone that's under 21 years of age, permitting minors to consume alcohol, employing minors to serve, sales of obviously intoxicated persons, sales before or after our liquor license is good for that day. Can't give away freebies. You can't bring alcohol outside the footprint of our event, and you can't bring it into it either. That's all has to be controlled by us, since we have the permit to be on the street.
I see no topping off.
Yeah. Well, people, they'll look at their wine glass and they'll go, "Oh, can't you just fill it to the top?" We don't do that because this is an event that we're raising money for the community. So hopefully everyone understands the prices are really reasonable, and we are trying to make a profit on this event so that we can share those profits with the community. Number one, the wine and beer that you pour at this event is the property of the Lafayette Chamber. We buy the liquor. Your sponsorship is you're paying for the booth that you're in only. So you don't get to take any home. You don't get to remove any from the premises.
And you don't get to bring your own.
You don't get to bring your own, and you don't get to drink in the booth, and you don't even get the bottles that are left over that are already open. Our liquor license permits us to pour between the hours of 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. However, I've extended the license to 7:30 to allow people to finish their drink before we have to ask them to leave the area. We want to make sure that you know that it's not allowed. You're not allowed to be trading with the booth next to you. No quid quo pro. You can't just because you're serving beer and they're serving wine and you each want a beer or a wine. No, you don't get to trade again.
Just follow the rules. Keep it straight and simple.
That's right. Question: do I need to check everyone's ID? If you're working in the ticket booth, you need to have a good sense of what it looks like when you're looking at a person that looks 30 years of age or younger. So even though 21 is the legal limit, we ask you to question anyone that looks 30 years or younger. So if they do look 30 years or younger, you must ask them for an ID. And we do have ID checkbooks, so even if they're from another state or from out of country, we should be able to determine are they really 21 or not. If a person looks over 30, you're going to go ahead and you're going to place a wristband on them. So we have special wristbands that we will be using. The wristbands this year, we have a sponsor on them. It's MCE. They're neon red. Everyone must have a wristband in order to get a drink. Doesn't matter if you're 90 years old or 22 years old. If you don't see a wristband on that person, even if they've got a ticket and a glass, you can't serve them. You just send them back to one of the 7 ticket booths, and they'll be happy to give them one so that they can use it for the rest of the day. Here's an area that we want to make sure that everyone is on the same page. You know, as the day goes on, people may start to drink maybe a little bit more than they should have. And you have to be very careful about who you're serving. And it doesn't matter that they've got a glass and a ticket and a wristband. If they've had too much to drink, they need to be cut off. But cutting off a guest can be a really awkward situation and quite a task. So what I ask is that you leave that either to the police or to the event staff. You can call dispatch. You have their number in your booth. Call them and let them know what the problem is. And we're all on the same radio frequency. We'll hear it and we'll be there in just a moment. No, you don't have to be nasty about it. Just simply say, I'm sorry, I can't serve you at this time. I'll have a festival representative meet you. Typically what happens then is they'll say something nasty and they'll walk to the next beer or wine booth. But you've watched which direction they're walking in, and when we get to you, we'll cut them off at the pass. So, offer them water. You've got water in the booth. Keep them hydrated. That's important too. There are many ways in which we can tell someone's intoxicated. It's by the way they look, by the things they say, whether it's slurred speech, whether it's getting loud and obnoxious. It's really quite amazing how personalities change when they get to that point where they are intoxicated.
And they don't want to be embarrassed later either.
That's correct.
So you're doing them a favor as well.
There's going to be certain things like they're not as alert. Or they're slow or deliberate in their movements. Their speech changes. They'll fumble with their money. They'll be swaying. They'll look drowsy. They could even fall. I mean, these are obviously all signs of intoxication. You can also look at their appearance. Red, watery eyes, disheveled clothing, sweating. Sometimes people will drink enough where you can smell the alcohol coming out of their pores. Lack of eye focus, a flushed face. And if you think there's something wrong, have one of us come and help you with that. Drink tickets. Responsibilities in the beer and wine booths. You may only accept a 2018 drink ticket. Every year we change the tickets. Tickets from last year are not good this year. So make sure that you're checking and that it says 2018. When you take the ticket, you're going to tear the ticket and you're going to put it in the box that we provide you. And they need one wristband. They need one official glass, either a beer or wine glass, and they need one drink ticket, or they don't get a sale. No, we don't pour beer into the wine glasses, and we don't pour wine into the beer glasses. We just don't do that. If they want to trade their glass in, they can go to a ticket booth and do that. At the end of the day, we need to make sure that you stay in your booth until we come and pick up the unused alcohol. So if you're in a beer booth, just hang around. We'll disconnect the taps and you're free to go. In the wine booths, just make sure that we come by, we pick up the full cases and the partials, and then have all of your empties just sort of lined up so that we can easily get rid of those. And we'll tidy the booth up, and when you come in the next day, everything will be brand new again.
Jerry, are you going to get into drinking in the booth? The participants who are doing the serving, can they drink? And if they do, they've got to make sure that they're still responsible.
Yes, the sponsors actually do get some glasses with their sponsorship. And quite frankly, if you're pouring wine and you want to have a little bit of knowledge about what you're pouring, it's probably a good idea that you taste it.
Yeah.
Tasting is one thing. Tasting the wine or the beer is one thing. Drinking wine and beer in the booth and drinking for free is something else.
On a hot day.
If you want to buy your clients, if you invited them to come see you, you can pre-purchase some of the drink tickets from the Chamber of Commerce, and you can, when they come to your booth, you can give them a ticket, and basically then you can pour them a drink. But really, we don't encourage. We certainly don't want you to drink in the booth during the day.
If you do, you're still responsible. Just remember that.
That's right. Let's talk about who can be in the tent. No minors allowed in your tent. Everyone must be 20 years of age or older. If you've got children with you or babies, whatever, I'm sorry, they can't be in the booth. That's just the rule. Also, take advantage of having someone in front of your tent. Have an extra person there. The person that you want to have out in front that's your greeter.
PR person.
Yeah, I mean, in most events like ours, there's a rule you can't leave your tent. But we basically have a rule. It's an arm's distance. In other words, be out there, be able to shake hands, be able to introduce yourself to the people that are walking up. If you have a beer booth, they're probably going to know what they want because you're only going to have, two taps, but they're going to want one or the other. But with the wine, you may have 5 or 6 different varietals that you're pouring. Have a chance to talk to them before they get into the conversation about wine. Now, what about tasting? Yes, you can pour a taste, but a taste is a splash. It's not a half a glass. It's less than an ounce. If they want to taste a couple of the wines, yes. If they want to taste all 7 of them, no. So, just use some common sense when it comes to that. Focus points. No free drinks. Beer is poured to the top of the glass, and that is a 16-ounce pour. That's a full pint. When you pour the wine, you're pouring a 5-ounce pour into a 6.5-ounce glass. We'll have a glass in the booth that will be marked for you so that you'll know exactly where to pour it to. Please don't pour any more. Don't wait to call for more product. We have people at dispatch who will run and get things for you, and we have a couple of people that also monitor your booth all day long. So when you see us come by, if you think you're going to need something, don't wait till the last minute to do it, because it'll be really unfortunate if it's 95 degrees out and you just ran out of Chardonnay.
Yeah.
Let's talk again about what's really important to remember from if you're working in these booths. If you're going to sell a glass of beer or a glass of wine, each person must look 30 years or older, or you have the right to ask them for an ID, even if they have a wristband on their arm. But if you think that they've been checked, that's fine. Wristband, that's the red MCE wristband only. They have to have an official glass from 2018. They have to have the official ticket for 2018. And if you're working in the premium wine area, it takes 2 tickets to get a glass of wine instead of 1. The beer booth in the premium area just takes 1 ticket, just like the rest of the area. So, wristband, glass, ticket, have to have those or you can't serve them. During the event, our staff will be walking through the event, and we will be actually monitoring what you're doing. So we're going to watch. We're going to make sure you're checking for everything. We're going to be making sure you're taking tickets and tearing them. We're going to make sure that no one's drinking in the booth. We're going to look to see what you need, and we're going to help you. So please take advantage of our services. We want this to be as fun and easy as possible for you. We do have some people working out there with you all weekend long. So if you're in a beer or wine booth, Rebecca or Heidi are going to be your contacts. And if you're in a ticket booth, Reed will be your contact. So now let's talk a little bit about the ticket booths.
Okay.
If you and your group are working in a ticket booth, okay, here's some things that you need to know. First of all, make sure that you're set and ready to go. Your team should be in that booth well before the time that you actually open up for business. And there are scheduled ticket booth times that are spread throughout the day. Some of them open up right at 10, some of them close at 6:45 at night, and they open up and close at different times during the day. If you're in a ticket booth and you're working in there, you're going to have one person that's going to be your cashier. And that cashier will be the one that'll be collecting the money, where the other attendants that'll be up in the window, they will be taking the money and or swiping the credit cards for sales. We, from time to time, will come by and will collect the money. Karen Rose and Adele Christensen are going to be your contacts for picking up money throughout both days. They will be followed by an undercover police officer at all times. There may also be a couple of us that will come by from time to time and just check in on you when we don't have those scheduled pickup times. That's myself, Jay Lifson, our event director, Sarah Regan, our membership director, Barbara Gilmore, or our treasurer, Cesar Perales. Those are the only people that can come and take money. Do not hand money to anybody else but them. They'll also bring you any of the items that you need. More paper for the credit card machine, more wristbands, whatever, more glasses, whatever you need. Let one of them know, and they will call for you and get that for you. Make sure that you try and keep the money out of the public's eye. You'll have the credit card machines right there where you'll be able to get them to sign, but let's make sure that we keep that the cash covered.
Okay. So we can just go right through it.
It's happened before. What if we ran out of tickets or wristbands? What will happen is, chances are, we're not going to run out of anything on Saturday. But on Sunday afternoon, hey, we may run out of this year's wine glasses, and we may have to go to using something that we have in stock from last year or the year before. We may run out of the wristband color, and we may want to change to a different one. So things like that can happen. What we'll do is on Sunday morning, we'll assess what we're going into. We've got a pretty good idea of how close we'll be, and we'll put a letter in each of the booths explaining to you what's going to probably happen today. So you may get a note in there that says, it looks like at about 3:30, 4 o'clock this afternoon, we're going to run out of Chardonnay. And so what we'll do is we'll start moving wines around from booth to booth. So you may be pouring Wente all day Saturday and part of Sunday morning, but by the afternoon, you may be pouring Clos du Bois.
There you go with the flow.
Yeah,
No-
yeah.
no
So
pun intended.
we'll move things around as needed. Same thing with the glassware. If we know we're running out of glassware, we'll keep on moving the glassware around to all the booths so that they all have a stock and they all run out at the same time. But we'll let you know way ahead of time if something like that's going to happen. What if someone says, I don't like this wine? Hey, pour it out. Pour the rest of the glass out. You have a dump bucket, and then pour them a new glass of wine. Same thing with beer. If they don't like what they have, go ahead and change it for them once. But make sure you're pouring it out. Don't let them drink the whole thing, and then give them some more. Can I taste it first? Again, yes, you can, but it's a splash. Want more information about the wine or beer you're pouring? We will have information about the different varietals of wine. We'll have information for you about the beers that you're pouring. And we might even have winemakers in the booth with you from time to time that are working the event. So definitely take advantage and learn as much as you can, because the more educated you are, the more interesting and fun it's going to be for your guests as they're visiting with you. We haven't raised other tidbits. If someone doesn't have a wristband on, they can simply go back to the ticket booth and get one. We'll actually have some of our staff that will be walking around with wristbands. So if we see somebody without a wristband, we'll put them on them, or we'll check their ID. Ticket booths close before the event ends. We don't want to sell tickets that can't be used. We'll close those ticket booths down as close as we can to when we don't need them anymore. In some cases, we have considered or condensed our efforts, and if we've got a slow ticket booth during part of the day, we might close it for a while. The premium wine ticket booth does not open until noon, because that whole entire area does not open until noon. The Chamber partners with the City of Lafayette on this event, and the Chamber presents the major events in Lafayette each year. We have an agreement with the city. The event brings literally 85 to 100,000 people to our community over those 2 days. And the reason that we have this event is to bring people to our downtown, get a chance for them to see our restaurants, our unique shops, and our lovely semi-rural community. So we're really counting on you to put your best foot forward. Let's make them feel welcome. Sales tax in our city amounts to about a quarter of the city's general funds budget. This is what pays for police and roads and the great quality of life we have.
So be an ambassador for Lafayette.
You got it. So, over the last 20 years, we have raised almost a $500,000 that we've been able to give back to the community over those years. So it's a really important event for us. It's about half of the Chamber's budget for the year. So one of the reasons we're able to do so many free events for the community during the course of the year is because we have a very successful art and wine festival. Yeah. So we hope it'll be successful for you and your business, and we thank you for taking the time to train with us.
All right, good job, Dan. It should be a very, very successful art and wine festival again. So congratulations for putting on so many in the past.
Thanks, Mike. Look forward to seeing you there.
Thanks.